hi everyone, and welcome again to the Wannabe Gardener. Yesterday I was out and I was cutting away the bush for the shrub there, the one that's now completely like skeletal. I had some problems because I discovered a nest in it, and the nest was occupied. There were little eggs in it. Sad news overnight. That a predator, probably a magpie I would imagine, has, not my cat, a magpie I think, would have eaten the eggs. It's part of nature, it's one of those things. It's sad. I would have preferred it another way. There's no way of me knowing that there was a nest there, so it's gone now, so I can't actually remove the shrub. It's not the way I wanted it, but that's the way it goes. On away from wildlife for a bit and onto the gardening aspect, I have noticed that something that's probably going to put the kibosh significantly on my plans to develop, to change, to beautify the garden, to utilize it for fruit and veg and all sorts really, for a pond, for wildlife area. The wildlife area is not going to be affected, but the other things are, and that's one thing I've learned straight away. And normally I do the learning afterwards, but I'm doing the learning at the start where I talk about the learning, what I've learned from the day. But what I've learned now is that, from doing a little bit of research overnight, is that how much sun. I know these are obvious to people who do gardening, but I don't, hence the Wannabe Gardener. But for me, a huge portion of the day this garden is in shade. So if you have any hints, if you can help me and kind of, I don't know, put my mind at ease slightly and say, oh well, you can still grow X, Y and Z, then let me know, because it really is in shade. It's been in shade since I think about just after 12 o'clock, and it's now close to 4 o'clock. So yeah, that is a significant portion of the day. I think when you see, unfortunately, what we have is we have a big tree there, and that blocks out sunlight for a great portion of the day. Then this, I don't know if you can see it, the willow tree here, just to this side here, this blocks it out as well. So there's so much shade there that it's really frustrating, really, because if that tree wasn't there, I don't even know, even the angle would it actually even give this sunlight. So yeah, bit of a quandary, don't know what to do. But what I am going to do is I am going to develop this area, so I have decided now, obviously, that I can take that shrub away. Not the way I wanted it to happen, but that's the way it is, and it is nature. And the reality of it is that, if that creature now feeds its young, it survives. It's the law of nature. Nothing I can do. As I say, I'll crack on with it now. Just going to remove it using mostly the tenon saw for the bigger branches. I think it will just make the process a bit easier, a bit quicker. And then if I get to the end of it, dig up the root ball. I don't have the microphone yet, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over and address the camera every so often, so you can actually hear what I'm saying. rather than talking over there where you won't be able to hear me. I should be able to get through this relatively quickly. What I'll do is I'll cut another couple of branches or so, and I'll leave that shooting, and then I'll pause it and show you my progress in a few minutes time, or in a quarter of an hour or so. There you go, that's a significant section there. As you can clearly see by the plant, it really has not been maintained or anything for, I don't even know how long, a long time. So, you know, it's way past the point. And it's really ugly as well. Outside leaves a little nest. I'm very sad about it, actually. I genuinely am. But nature is a dog-eat-dog world, and hopefully that little birdie will go on to produce plenty of young in the future. Well, as you can see, my progress is pretty decent already, so what I'm going to do now is pause, and then I'll get back to you when I get some more work done. Well, I'm back again for a little bit of an update. A bit of a dry throat. As you can see, I've cut it down, slightly breathless. I've cut it down to sort of like the base of the branches, and they are branches. I mean, check that out. That's a proper solid piece of wood. So whatever this plant is, this, well, I think I've established that it is a shrub. It's fairly robust beast. Weirdly there, I've just seen a little bird that's come through the bush over there, just at the base of where the railings is, and I think he's investigated one of the nests. A little small brown bird, possibly a dunnock, because that's the bird that I looked at the eggs, and when I said yesterday that they were probably like blue tit, grey tit, not the case. They were most likely, because of the size and because of the colour, they were most likely dunnock eggs, the eggs of a dunnock bird. And a dunnock actually means, I found out, Old English, dun means brown, very similar to Irish. Dun is brown in Irish, and och is small or little. So you twist that around, little brown, which it looks like. It looks like a sparrow, superficially speaking, but it's actually it's much more sort of delicate, much more sort of dainty. It's slimmer, it's got a smaller beak. If you want to check it out online. You can see what it looks like. Pretty little thing, quite unassuming. It's got a grey colour on the breast. Yeah, very nice, very nice. So it was great to find that out, because I do know about wildlife, but I don't know a huge amount about birds yet. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue on cutting this down. Useful actually to have the tenon saw. I thought I should have had like a longer full saw, but no, this has actually worked out well, because it's more rigid and because it's smaller, so you can get into smaller spaces. It's a bit of a laborious process, because you know, you got to just cut off one at a time, and they're in each other's way, etc., etc. But I'm going to keep bashing on and try to remove the beast finally. Part 3. So maybe not the dig up today, but I hope to get most of the root out of there, or not the root, but you know, the remaining branches. Okay, I will report back in a little bit. Right, when I was doing that progress report, I was talking about how much I had left of the plant to get rid of. You would have seen it when it was higher. Unfortunately, when I did the last update, I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm so tired from cutting it down. It was a lot lower, so I'm not actually sure that you've seen it at that time when I was talking about it, because obviously the camera is up a lot higher. So let me show you the remains of it now. Now it's like literally down to the stumps. And there we go. So it's certainly changed dramatically from today, and there's the remainder of it there. As I said, thick wood, so like properly cutting down like a little small tree. Let me put the camera back up. Right, so now I know, I'm just trying to balance this. Now I'm going to get the shovel and try and dig that out, but it's a beast. It looks like it's seriously well dug in there for sure. So yeah, I think it's going to be quite a challenge to remove it, but hey ho, I'll give it a shot. I'll show you the first part. I'm going to get a shovel now. It wasn't too long, was it? Shovel and the fork. Actually, I might loosen the saw with the fork first. Take off the guards. And yeah, so I'll leave it running for a little bit, and then obviously if it just gets too much, I'll turn it off and get back when I've made some more progress. I didn't actually show you what I was doing there. I found a worm. How exciting. I put him into my temporary wormery down there. So that was that. A juicy worm for the wormery. I'm not going to keep doing that, I've realised, because it's going to take me about 10 hours to do this. It's seriously embedded in there, so oh dear, this could take a while. I'm going to stop it for now because it's not going to be much fun just looking at me doing this in real time. I'm going to get back if I make much progress. Well, back for a latest update. I've dug around the base of it, which I'm going to show you very shortly. Well, not dug, actually used a fork and loosened the soil around it. It's tough. It's tough work, I'll tell you what. You think you're fit and healthy, or reasonably fit and healthy, get out into the garden, do some digging. It'll sort out the men from the boys, or the women from the girls, or the girls from the women. But hey, it can't be bad. We all need exercise at this time anyway. This is, as I said, and I'll keep on saying, that this is being filmed through the coronavirus pandemic, and you know, I've used this as my exercise for the day, because I'm trying as best. You know, well, I am actually very much following the government guidelines to stay indoors, only travel for absolute essentials. And considering that my job has been wiped out because of coronavirus, you know, it's great to be able to get into the garden and do something, you know, and use this time as a project and to keep fit and healthy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the root area, and following that I'm going to do some digging to see if I can remove it. Maybe not, I don't know. So here we go. Here's where I'm at the minute. Dug around the base of it. The problem is that fence support there is in the way, so I can't get around that side, and obviously that disaster of a fuchsia bush is in the way also, or a shrub or whatever. It's like basically a tree. So yeah, I'm going to dig around now, remove the soil, and just try and get to the base of it. So now let me put you back up where you belong. Understand? Oop, sorry for all the camera movement, but it's an essential at the moment. Oops, is that right? No. Now, so, as I say, that's the progress so far. But I was correct about the fuchsia when I found the little flower on it, so I was quite pleased with that. I think it's like a bush. I think it is a bush. It must be, because nothing grows that big, you know, unless it's a bush or a shrub. But again, that has not been pruned or taken care of in years and years and years. I mean, it's decades. It's like a tree, basically. So that'll have to be removed or seriously pruned down. As I say, all of this depends now, like I spoke earlier, without significant sunlight in the garden, or the strip of garden, what can I do? Please give me some advice, some help. I'd appreciate it. Am I fooling myself thinking that I can actually grow fruits and vegetables in here? Is it enough to get just some sunlight in the morning? I don't know, but hopefully you folks out there can help you with that and give me some advice on that. Thank you in advance. It's my cat running about. But right, what I'll do now is I'll pause it and I'll try and dig that beast out, the monstrosity. Okay, time for a progress report. Wow. Talk about serious underestimation. I knew the roots were going to be a bit of a problem, but good grief, they're a big problem. This looks like a bit of rope, not root, and that is a small one. There's one beast in there that I'm going to show you now. I've managed to either cut through them with the spade I've been using, or else with the mini loppers. I think I called it what did I call it? A pruning fork before on the first video. Where I came out with that, I don't know. Obviously, I don't know. Some weirdness going on. Anyhow, yeah, I've come across a root that's like, I don't know, like that. If I had the big loppers, I might be able to do it in one. But this, what I'm doing is I'm just nipping away at it. I'm going to show you it now. Come over here for a minute. Right down in there. There we are there, down there. So it's really, really thick. I mean, it's as thick as one of the thickest branches. So yeah, I've obviously been digging around it, but it's seriously in ground. There's one of the roots there, if you can see. Let me see, move it for you. There, that one there. That I've managed to chop through. I've chopped through a number of them, but there are a lot more. Let me make sure that's orientated the right way. Oh, it's as best as can be at the moment. So yeah, I've just got to crack on with it. I've just got to keep going, and I might not finish it today. I doubt it very much, unless that like literally is the only route that's holding it in. I seriously doubt that. There's the one going centrally down, and then they're obviously branching out like a spider, with enormously thick legs, prehistoric spider, Methuselah. So yeah, crack on, get on with it, and stop moaning. I'm not moaning. Right, I'll be back to you in a bit. Success! I've managed to cut through it. Just doing it slow and steady, just keep nipping away at it, and then eventually I could get into it a bit more, and then it went straight through it. So that's a relief. It's also meant that there's now the teeniest bit of movement, and when I say teeny, I mean teeny. Last time it was just completely solid. Now there's like is that good to show? Just I mean literally minute, but it is noticeable. There's ever so slightly, but that root obviously has been just literally, I don't know what that's hanging around on, but it was absolutely firm. I'm going to try and show you because I'm so proud of myself. I forgot to bring the loppers down, but yeah, where that dirt is, I think you can, hold on, if I move it there, I think you can see it there. Actually, if I push it, it is actually in half now. So, sorry, I just had to show that. I was very proud of that. Back you go. Oops. Not doing very well with the camera work at the moment, I'm afraid. There, I think we're kind of back where we belong. Not very straight, but there we go. And that's what I got to do. So, seriously doubt whether I'll finish it today. I don't want to make the video too long. So yeah, I'll just crack on. I think maybe stage 4 tomorrow, part 4 of removing the monstrosity. I obviously have to put up the other parts to it. So yeah, just keep on going. Right, I've just been digging around a little bit again. This is only like literally a couple of minutes later, but I found another one of the giant spider's legs, i.e. the roots. This one looks even bigger than the last one. That's just, it's not an exaggeration. I mean, seriously, this thing is I mean, I don't have particularly wide arms, but it looks initially like it's wider than my arm, or as wide. That's maybe a slight exaggeration, but you know, it's wider than the last one anyway. So I've got to try and tackle that with the loppers now, and yeah, hopefully have some success with it. But it will definitely now be tomorrow at least until I remove this, and that might be wishful thinking at that. Right, so I'll continue on. Talk about exaggerations. I've cut through it already, and this is like about 30 seconds later. It was a lot thinner. It was just the way it was kind of angled over that made it look, honestly, that made it look a lot bigger. So that's cut through. I haven't actually jiggled it now, the root and remaining branches, to see if it moves anymore, but I'll continue on. I'll just show you this anyway. See? Bit of dead wood cracked off, but it's actually even moving less now. That's possible after cutting through two main roots. But hey ho, I don't know what on earth is holding this thing in. But onward and upward, hopefully. Well, that's the end of filming for today. So what has the Wannabe Gardener learned? I need a bigger loppers. Tendon saw is very useful to get into those small places to cut things. A rake is useful, a spade is useful, and also I'm very good at tidying up after myself. Ta-da! All the waste gone. So it's important to clean up and tidy up after yourself. Put you up there. You probably see my torso at the minute. So yeah, I've actually done a 360 on the root at the moment, and like I've been all around and I've cut all the visible roots. Some with great difficulty, I have to say, but they're all done. So unless, I'm guessing there's a central root, and that must be way down. So if it's going to come out, I really don't know. Again, if you have any advice on what I should do, should I leave it, because it looks like it's just going to grow back strong, to be honest. So I don't know, or unless there are some of those spider leg roots still knocking about and further down in the soil, so I'll dig some more tomorrow and check that out. And I don't know, I'll just look for hints and tips. Anything else? Yes, wear clothes. I'm going to be wearing the same stuff. I will wash it occasionally, obviously. But yeah, get myself some gardening clothes and shoes. Yeah, get an old pair of shoes. I've got plenty of old shoes there that I can be wearing, rather than wearing ones that I've actually bought to walk about in, because they won't look so good afterwards. So that's it. Gloves. It's good to feel the soil in my hands, but gloves in general for cuts, because there's brambles there that I cut out some brambles, and believe me, when I go either walking or elsewhere, just down in nature, I've got ripped by them a few times, and they leave a really nasty sort of long-lasting pain. Brambles do far worse than nettles, far worse. So yeah, that's about it for now. The sunlight is fading. As I say, I can see sunlight over my shoulder, but alas, certainly during the spring here, there's very limited sunlight that comes out on the garden. So that's kind of my major problem going forward. So until tomorrow, everybody. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed it, I invite you to subscribe. If not, just enjoy the videos for the meantime. And that's it. Yeah, I'm just kind of getting my head around gardening and the task at hand, and that things take a long time. So in order to be a gardener, you need patience. You really do need patience. And so it'll help me to become, more patient, more sort of like saying that things are going to take a lot longer, instead of thinking that something is going to take 2 days, 1 day, it's probably going to take a week or two to do. So there we go. On that note, I say goodbye, everybody. Happy gardening, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.